Welcome to live softball action coming to you from Diamond One at West Beach in South Australia on beautiful Ghana land. It's round 6 of the CMAX Premier League, and today we've got a massive game as second plays third. Lots on the line. We've got a full house of commentators to help you get through this big one as the Glenelg Rebels take on the Sturt Falcons. The Rebels currently sitting second and the Falcons third. They're a couple of games behind as far as some match-up games to come, so don't look into that too much. But we've got two form sides ready to go at it, both at full strength. And as I said, so's the commentary box. And I can now proudly announce the Softball South Australian Board Director Chairman. It's Mr. Pete Williams.
Thank you, Anthony. It's good to be here. It's good to get out and about at West Beach on a lovely Saturday afternoon. Nice little breeze, not too hot, not too cold. It's fantastic to be here.
Love it. And the man that brought South Australia National Championship winning glory after 66 years, the coach of the Tigers, it's Bill Benedictson.
Hey, Anthony. Pete, nice to be here.
So, big game today, second place, third, both form sides. Glenelg coming off of a walk-off win against against the Eagles Wednesday night. So I'll get my words right. 8-7, which was a bit of an epic. The Falcons, ironically, the only game they've lost was to the Eagles, and here we find themselves going head-to-head. What do you like about the Falcons, Bill?
Well, they've got good hitting, and they've got experience out there. You know, Bell White at shortstop's hitting the ball really well. Maddie Cameron in center field also hitting well. I think they're well-rounded. I think Sarah Tonkin also putting the ball in play quite a bit, too, and using their wheels. They're really running the bases well from what I've seen. Yeah, they're definitely they're scoring a plenty, and their defense, Zali Adams back's got some really good pitching depth there with the Ollie Durham, who's obviously the next big thing in South Australian softball coming up. So that's huge. Playing second base today too, so getting out of the pitching circle, should be happy about that. But it's the Rebels that are second who have surprised. Obviously two big recruits in Yo Grauer and obviously Sydney Horton out at centre field, but playing second today, ironically. The Rebels, they've risen from out of the finals last year, and here they are pushing the big teams. Yeah, I was here chatting just before to Gemma Cochran and talking about the win the other night, and just the way they reacted when that run came across and they won the game. There was a lot of excitement in that, and they said they're running, that adrenaline is still in the system, they're still pushing that, and they're hoping to get a similar result here today. You mentioned Sydney Horton out in the outfield, normally comes into second base today as well, batting at 500 from 22 plate appearances so far this season. The team's had 39 runs this year, but interestingly enough, they've only had 9 hits this year. They've had 33 walks, so they're spending a lot of time in the box. They're really making the pitchers pitch it hard, and they're getting themselves on base, which if they do that here again, you know, we know Sturt's got a really good pitching group amongst them, but if they can take these guys deep, that'll be good. And Yo Grauer, back in the game in the middle today. She's had 3 games and only 1 run scored against her so far this year. That Wednesday night game, Glenelg really had great discipline in the box, swung at strikes, hit them hard. Sydney Horton you're talking about, I saw her at second base, and she put her body on the line there, made a couple of great plays, as did Bevan out in center. So yeah, it's huge. We're talking about those on-base percentages. So the Rebels batting 251 and collectively as a team, but their on-base is 362. So it's an extra 100 points, which, yeah, as you say before, gentlemen, it's that discipline. But Yo Grauer, she doesn't just bring great defense in regards to her pitching and challenging the hitters. She also adds to that offense. She's a threat. She's batting in the cleanup spot today. So it's ironically been a warm day up until the last 15 minutes, and it's now cooled right off. So we've got a little bit of wind right to left here. So the other big game happening right at the moment will be the Hills Heat, with Grace Rickson, who's flown in from interstate, going up against the Walkerville Cats. And a little bit later on in the 5 p.m. game here, it's the Tigers going up against the Magpies. Is that right? That's correct. Yeah, there we go. Big game. So we've got Bill for a while before he's got to head off to other duties. Falcons having a big chat here. This is interesting. They had a big chat there. They've had another one just before the game started, which is a little bit unlike the Falcons. They tend to know what they're doing, and they just to get it on. So that's 2 decent conversations. So there might be a bit in this. As I said, Rebels coming off of a 3-game winning streak.
the Falcons obviously picked up their first loss, bounced back against the Hills on Wednesday night comprehensively. Against Walkerville, my apologies, comprehensively. But ironically, it's round 6. It's the first time I've seen the Falcons live, so it'll be interesting to see. I've obviously watched Zali before. Ollie Durham's been lights out, but a good blend of youth and some of the best players in our league, and the likes of White and Cameron.
I like the Falcons having that little group chat there. They've welcomed a couple of new players into their defensive fold, and they've kind of just sort of taken them all in, and almost like Falcons all flapping their wings together, I guess.
Well, while you were flapping, Bill, why don't you take us around the Falcons defense?
Can do. So we've got Zali Adams on the circle today, pitching to Sarah Tonkin. At first base, Riley Moore. Second base, Ollie Durham. Third base is Abby Weir. Bell White at shortstop. In the outfield from left to right, Ashlyn Mensford, Maddie Cameron, and Abby Kennedy.
And leading off for the Rebels, it will be their traditional leadoff, who's having another good season, always consistent, always competing. And that's the third base player, Gemma Cochran. Takes an early strike. Quick chance to zip us around the umpires there, Pete.
Yeah, Dave Rovnick on plate today. Up at first is Pete Fairley, and over at third is Damien McCauley. So a good bunch on the field there.
Big crew for a big game. That's what we like. So we're away 1-1 here. So Adams got great control of all of her pitches. Throws hard. Comes back from some time away, obviously, over in the US college system, where she's had some great success. So
Quinnipiac.
Yeah, great to see her back here and throwing for the Falcons. Count leveled up there at 2-2. Comes back inside. Sarah Tonkin always lights out behind the plate. She's just does a great job in calling games, getting the best out of these Falcons pitchers. Takes her after going inside, takes her away to the edge. Cochran can't leave it alone, but she also didn't necessarily want to swing at it, so she's done the best she could do, which is fouling it off.
Can't remember the last time I saw a Sturt infield without Rachel Tonkin at second. She's been really good in their batting as well this year. She's in their top 3. Earlier in the year, I think, was the number 2 batter.
Yep.
After a few games, only behind Belle White, in front of Sarah Tonkin, in front of Maddie Cameron. And she was initially a lot used in that night spot, but she has crept around the order a little bit this year. But without her today, it'll be interesting to see how they can get that bottom of the order still ticking over.
That was really good batting. Both gentlemen talked about the discipline that the Rebels have shown in the box. Cochran there on 2-2 gets a ball just across the letters and asks the question from Adams in regards to how are you going to go at it. She held off of it, ball, and then she gets the money pitch there, and all of a sudden we've got a runner at first. So that brings the switch hitting Sydney Horton to the plate.
As James mentioned on Wednesday night, Horton's got a bit of a habit of left side, right side, and then I think she's alternating every time, or I don't know if the situation changes that makes her do that, but her second time up was from the right side.
Yeah.
Well, if you can bat both sides, you may as well use it.
Yeah, especially with that runner at first here. She can see already trying to drag the ball towards that inside, sort of towards Durham and Moore, trying to keep the ball that way. But against the quality of Zoe Adams, that's not going to be easy. So good contest here at 1-1. Goes the other way, slaps. White stays down as only the quality players can do in that situation. Plays the lead run. Durham over at second, makes the out. Cochran, great effort to get there. And we just see here on the C-Max replay, it just didn't come off the bat super hard, and White just actually had to just hold her ground here on the C-Max replay.
Yeah, she got that up, just bounced in front of her, got a little bit of a kick off the bounce, but was able to get herself in behind it nicely and make the straightforward play.
Off the bat, looked like it froze her a bit. She couldn't really charge in and catch it.
Yeah, love the fact that Durham Oh, wow. Great start by Sarah Tonkin. I was just going to say it was great to see Durham already at second, and this time Shepherd comes up and Horton gets sent by Coach Brinkworth. First pitch, and yeah, well out.
It's hard to beat that throw. Sarah's pretty dead on with it, and Bella over at shortstop always going to be in the right spot.
Shepherd, half sort of committed swing, flies it out to shortstop, and Bell White takes a simple catch. Great innings by Tonkin and Adams to get the Falcons away. Defensively, as you would expect from Sturt, rock solid. Couple of base runners, but
they got the runners on base. Well, they got a runner on base. A really good patient at bat from Gemma Cochran, got herself up there. Bit unlucky not to get herself across to second, but obviously the smartness of Bell White at second prevented that, and then a really good pick-off steal, and then a nice finish at the end there.
I'd have to say one of the big improvements with Sarah Tonkin, she's always been a good player, and you know with the Open Women's, we played her in left field, not so much at catch. But I think her throw has gotten stronger, and I think she's more accurate.
Yeah.
She's really throwing at runners left, right, and center.
Yeah, there's no secret if you see her on the socials. She is a supremely fit and strong athlete. She is outstanding in that regard. The thing that for me was never about so much the strength of the arm, it was that transition piece and coming up, and she is just as demonstrated there against the import Horton. She's thrown her out by 2 feet, and so the player that just continues to evolve is pretty scary. Speaking of scary, Yo Grauer on the mound for a Saturday, throwing rockets already. So big crowd on TV, big crowd here in the stands here for the 3 p.m. match of the round between the Rebels and the Falcons. 2 versus 3. So getting a bit of a look at what maybe we're going to see in a bit of March when if both teams hold the course. You know, as I said, the Eagles beat the Falcons only last week, and that's the only loss that the Falcons have actually had. So. And then we've got league-leading Port today playing the Tigers, who have coming off of a couple of good games too. So
I think the competition's quite strong. There's not really anyone I could pick in there at the moment and say they're definitely the head honchos in this premiership. If you look around, there's one of a number of clubs could do it. You don't know what the back end of the season. You've still got potential of any injuries or stuff like that, or unavailabilities can completely change teams very quickly. Having to have players play in positions they don't normally play in, or bat in positions in the lineup they don't normally bat. So,
well, the Rebels vibe was good. Shortstop Kinnear was dancing around there at second to the Giants pre-game music. You got Jay Peterson, who's lights out in the middle at the moment, and on a Saturday she's just going to take herself up over at first base and just have a nice Saturday afternoon watching the Kath Coral medalist throw for the Rebels. So the only other thing I was going to say is just in the warm-up, saying that Grauer's throwing some genuine speed. Shepherd's gloved 2 of 6 so far. So I don't know if that's...
testing out the rise ball.
Yeah.
Look, if there's only one strike against Grauer, it's that I think early in the game, sometimes she can be a little bit loose, trying to dial it in.
Yep.
And I think if you're going to have success against her, it's early, and then she seems to settle herself in, and then it's very tough to get knocks off.
Well, talking about athletes like Tonkin, I mean, Yo Grauer is just one of those that seems to improve by pitch, and it doesn't seem to matter what the count is. So.
And you got Sarah Tonkin with probably the smallest strike zone in the league. If you're not having success early, and here we are 3-0.
Yeah. But seen this so many times from Grauer before. I've seen her walk, bases loaded nearly on occasion, on rare occasion, and still get out of it. So, but, Tonkin, she'll take that. Grauer herself, again, she won't be fussed.
We'll just quickly go around the ground defensively, but we got Yo Grauer on the mound, throwing to Courtney Shepherd behind the plate, Jade Peterson at first, Sydney Horton at second, Gemma Cochran at third, Sophie Kinnear at short. Left to right, Bree McGee.
Tonkin returns the favour, testing out the catching arm of Shepherd, and Tonkin slides in and he's safe, and Falcons already early here as the Rebels trying to find their groove. Runner at 2.
Just finishing off Bree McGee in left, Georgia Bevan in center, and Sasha Penglaze in right. The bunt attempt going foul there.
Yeah,
That's
Abby Weir just seen a lot of it in Adelaide this year, just with popping up and but in that particular case, she had to actually go down to that ball, but behind in the count and goes down looking on the outside edge, brings to the plate the Olympian, the South Australian superstar that is Belinda White.
Geez, the importance of getting that bunt down when you have the opportunity and not having it happen, and then...
Yeah, runner at 3, especially when you consider that there's been a lot of pass balls early. You'd want to get a runner at 3 over there as quickly as you can and see if you can pick up a cheap one against Grau before, you know, hypothetically she maybe gets in that mood. And when she gets into that mood and that groove, it can become a very difficult afternoon. Tonkin testing the Rebels field. Kinnear follows her over to third, but Tonkin's picked herself up 2 stolen bases already in this game as the Falcons declare their intention that they're ready to play. And now anything loose at the plate is going to be trouble.
Bell White showing bunt there, drawing the infield in, or just freezing him momentarily, and throw down to third. Just a little off the mark.
And then you've got Maddie Cameron on deck as well, so it's not going to get any easier.
Base open for Bell, 2-0.
Ooh.
I think with that steal across the third there, also caught Sophie Kinnear a little bit unexpected. And once she basically only started moving once Sarah had passed her. So with the bunt coming down and the third coming in, she had to get over and cover and just got a bit caught off guard, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. Looking at the throw from Courtney, it looked like she wasn't sure that she could get it there because she probably wasn't quite there at the bag.
Second time, that outside edge. Shepherds frames that nicely. Still Bell's count here. Tonkin at third. It's 1 out. We're in the bottom of the first. White, big swing over the top.
Great swing at a 3-1 pitch there.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice pitch by Grauer. Probably just a little bit out over the plate.
I tell you what, if there was connection on that, the airport was in trouble.
Yeah.
That was going.
That would have knocked a plane out of the sky, no doubt. Full count. White knows that she's going to have to get a little bit more adventurous with this zone. It's up, and she goes with it and fouled it off deep down the left field side.
It's a good comeback here from Yo Grau from being three down and then all of a sudden worked their way back to full count. The runner on third, if they can get a second out, that really puts a lot of pressure on Sturt.
White continues to fight around that zone, hitting it hard. This one's been chopped out over the first base line, just over the dugout of the Rebels.
You can see the adjustment there. She had her 3-1 hack, which, like you said, would have been deep on the dog yard. And then she's gone 2 strike swinging there, just trying to put it in play.
This one hard hit to Kinnear, bounces through her. Tonkin makes it. White's already turned to second. Throw comes in from McGee at left field, but White's made a stand-up double. Tough hop there for Kinnear. She stayed low, and the ball's just unfortunately bounced just through her. You just see here on the C-Max replay.
Yeah, hard hits, hit the left ankle down really low. She got down. I think she thought it would bounce up a bit more, and it stayed low on her. Snuck through that foot, and good backing up out there by Bree McGee to get onto it quick, but not going to stop the speed of Bell, who, as soon as she saw the error, was turning first.
Yeah, Wednesday night she stayed low and probably a little bit moisture in the diamond. And that one there, kind of as you're expecting it to kick up and kind of got under her.
Yeah, so it's good to see that the new groundsman here at West Beach, Diamond 1, Diamond 2, has done a reasonable job for his first time out. So Cameron carries on from her triple hitting escapades on Wednesday night against the Cats as she just leans back into that and makes that look easy. Nothing getting easy here for the Rebels because they're in the same situation they were when White came to the plate. Runner in scoring position. It's 1 out. Falcons 1, Rebels 0. We're in the bottom of the first. Maddie Cameron at the plate. 1-1 is the count. Right side over Penglaze. White will score. Cameron will look at third. Adams is calling her through. I reckon she's going to call her all the way. And she's been held up as Kinnear has gone out for the cut. And that triple hitting escapades of Cameron from Wednesday carries into Saturday. It's a three-bag RBI here on the C-Max replay. Just see Penglaze at the fence.
Yeah, absolutely crunched that. She threw her hands at it. She made sure she punched at the right side of the diamond. Got it nice and flat. Penglaze ran in a few steps and then it carried over her head. I don't think she would have had to play on it anyway, but the ball out to the fence and was always scooting a 3. Could have taken on home, but play safe with 1 out. You've already scored a run.
Yeah, Moore and Adams on deck. So Falcons definitely in an aggressive mood here against the champion that is Yo Grau. So just good batting, good shots. You know, like the ball to Kinnear was just hit so hard, but Cameron just hitting line drives like they're the easiest thing to hit. Absolute superstar.
Legal pitch call. Runner should score on that.
No, I think that was Moore that stepped out asking for time.
I thought he called
He called a legal pitch.
Did he?
He called a legal pitch.
Yeah, right.
Runner should score, but they've missed that opportunity now. Look, as far as Sturt's going, they've manufactured a run here. You know, leadoff walk, stolen base. Bell White with 2 strikes just gets the ball in play and it works out for him. And then Maddie Cameron just going the right side and she gets all of it. And suddenly they've got 2 and it runner on 3.
Moore goes down looking on the outside edge, communicates what she just saw to the upcoming Adams.
Yeah, it's a nice strikeout there. A little bit confused. The scorers are also advising that that runner should have come home, but Maddie Cameron still on third. 2 out, 2 strikeouts, and into the box is Zali Adams, the pitcher.
Yeah, she hasn't had too many at-bats this season. She's when she's pitched in some different occasions, she's had somebody batting for her, but today she's in the lineup fully. Durham over at second base, so it's 2 out for the Falcons. Wonder if that run's going to come back and make something happen later.
Yeah, missed opportunity there. That run should have scored. I was going to say, Zali Adams, she likes to swing the bat. She doesn't get the opportunity often. That she doesn't cheat herself on her swings, that's for sure.
There's no poking at it. It's full bill.
Correct.
Cameron at third, 2 out for the Rebels. Adams at the plate, behind in the count. Grau tests her high, and Cameron doesn't need any more invitation than that and runs through the base path as the Rebels have given up 3 in the first innings. So Adams now gets a free bat at 2 out. Testing the outside edge. Well, it doesn't matter now in regards to whether or not she should have got home on that one before. The planets have aligned, and
usually the way it works, generally evens it up at some stage.
Zoe Adams fouls that one off down the third base line. We're in the bottom of the first here at West Beach in the C-Max Premier League, playing for the Linda Martin Shield. Grauer to Adams. And for the second time in 2 batters, the Falcons have gone down looking to Grau, but not before 3 have scored, to some impressive base running by Sarah Tonkin and some good batting by White and Cameron, as the Rebels find themselves leading into the top of the second, chasing 3.
Yeah, the pitching there, Yo Grau, we said at the start of the game, how she hasn't lost the game in her appearances on the plate so far this year. She's only had 1 run scored against her. They've just had 3 against her. But for her confidence, all 3 were strikeouts of the outs. So And really, the first run only advanced through that error through shortstop when it stayed low. So, you know, confidence for Glenelg. They can come back out, put some runs on the board. They can score runs. It was 8 the other night against West Torrens. So, just got to get batting, that's all.
Yeah, they have one of those sides that ironically has seemed to develop this knack of finishing well. So they're always fighting themselves in it. Obviously, when you've got the pitching depth of Peterson and Grau, that's obviously going to be advantageous. CMAX want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time. Log on to cmax.com.au. Got a couple of news bits coming up in the inning changeovers. Going to have a bit of a chat about home run heroes, and we're also going to mention an American coaching opportunity for some of the players in SA that's going to be held in December as well. So plenty to talk about. Bar 66 and Red Stars Cafe open till 5 today. So Walkerville Softball Club have been in there doing a great job today. So thank you for their support. So
great to see. Yeah, Bar 66, one of my favorite.
A frequent flyer, we would say. Here we go. We're in the top of the second. Yoke out, pitcher to pitcher. It's Adams. Plenty on that first pitch from Adams.
Yeah, they just walked off striking each other out, so time to turn around and face each other and get payback straight away.
Yes, they never... I mean, you never like getting struck out at any time, but definitely not to your opposite number. So, but how good's the contest? Second place, third. It's game of the day here at West Beach. Grauer up the middle, but White, what a stretch. And she's throwed it over to Moore at first, but great backup by Sarah Tonkin. And
it's be interesting to see that replay again if we can. That was a huge effort, because I think if that ball had been picked up cleanly at first, she would have beaten the runner as well. So.
Well, White was at full extension, sliding past the second base effectively on a hard shot from Grauer. But
look, it's an infield single. Bell's taking a hit away there all the way.
Penglaze drops the bun, and Weir's run over the top of it. And all of a sudden, just like that, the Rebels have got runners at 1 and 2 with none out. Plenty happening here today.
That was interesting that she got up quickly enough there, Abby, and got in close to the ball, but
just
she seemed to run towards the actual line, and the ball went inwards and just snuck under the glove, and they were able to at least hold the runners and not make any errors from there on. Just cop the loss on that one.
Rebels fighting back here after the positive start from the Falcons. So
Georgia Bevan into the box here.
Having a good comeback season.
Hit up the middle here as the knockdown by Bell. Just down in the dirt a bit there. Couldn't quite pop to her feet or knees quick enough. But yeah, she would have had her. Yeah.
Bevan just pushes that ball, changing the angle, and it sort of fouls off.
Talk about the athleticism and the gym work that Sarah Tonkin does. The gym work and athleticism that Bill White does on her Instagram pages and socials as well was phenomenal. She is just every day of the week pushing her body to the nth degree, and that just showed there. The core, the strength in her core and her arm was phenomenal.
What a great call by Tonkin there. She's called change up. Adams delivers, and Bevan swings right through it. So they get a much needed first out. Brings Sophie Kinnear, the Rebel shortstop, to the plate. It's runners at 1 and 2, 1 out. We're in the top of the second. Falcons 3, Rebels 0. Yeah, that was a really good call by Tonks. Like, you've got runners in scoring position. There's been a little bit of chaos. She showed bunt the pitch before, and so if she was ever going to lock her hands back and swing, it was then, and Tonkin calls the change up. Adams executes.
Still runners on 1 and 2 here for Glenelg. They're down in the run scoring at the moment. They've got to make the most of this and not leave them out there. Sturt won't give you too many chances. So.
Well, that was the interesting stat we were talking about before in pre-game. Kinnear goes left side past Weir out to left field, who comes up throwing hard as Grauer goes to score. Tonkin in front of the plate. That's good 1 out batting with runners in scoring position by Sophie Kinnear, the shortstop. Ashley Mentforth was all over that, attacked the ball well, kept it in front, came up throwing hard, but
Look, just like Wednesday night, Glenelg answers back. You know, they get runs scored against, they come right back. If you watch here this throw, if the cutoff leaves it, it's on the money. And it one hops in there, and they might have a play at her.
100%. It was a great play by Mensforth, and she did a great job getting her body right behind the ball too. I love that. If it missed her glove, it was going to hit her body. That's a bit of the old Linda Martin way. So loving that. So Jade Peterson, always a dangerous player at the plate.
In saying that, good to see Ollie Durham understanding her role there, getting over and playing a part in the cut play, given that, you know, a lot of teams, there's been times where pitchers have been involved in things. The general consensus from the people I speak to now is once you've pitched the ball, you're out of the game. You get left alone.
Peterson, inside out, fouls this one over to the first base bench of the Rebels. So Rebels still opportunity here with runners at 1 and 2.
So we have this discussion a little bit with all the teams I've been involved with, and whether or not to say nothing or say cut or say leave. And the consensus is in baseball, when you got more time for the throw to see it, generally they say nothing and they let the ball through. But in softball, the cutoff tends to always want to cut the ball.
Yep.
And so I'm under the impression that when you're on the base and you see that ball online, you yell leave, and then your cutoff lets it through.
Peterson fouling this one off again, same spot over the Rebels bench. Tonkin, just the pitch before, just ball died at the plate, and you could just see falling forward, glove behind it, and absolutely giving no chance for that ball to get past her. Runners in scoring position. Peterson leans back as she gets brushed off the plate by Adams.
So I know working with Reggie last year, Reggie Fairley, obviously under 18 Australian coach just recently, and hopefully becoming it as well from South Australian point of view. The feedback she's given to catchers is they let the players get in the position.
Peterson grounds up to short. White's going to turn it into a double, but the throw's just gone high. Moore unable to take it, and that's allowed Penglaze to go on and score. So cost them an out. Throw was, you can just see here, slow roller. White makes the first, and the ball just a little bit high. Moore just missing the timing on that off the first base.
I think what you find is that she kind of found for the base or tried to step for the base. She may have clipped it with a cleat, but I think that's put her off because I don't think she was clean to the bag, unfortunately, and that's probably disrupted the throw back across to 1.
The experienced Bree McGee playing left field today for the Rebels comes to the plate with Jade Peterson at first. It's 2 out here in the top of the second. The Rebels, as Bill was saying just before, they've been able to find a way, and they've fought back, and they've turned a 3-zip game into 3-2. Another change up by Adams. McGee stays off of it. Plenty of action here in the game of the day. Fouls this one off down the third base line to make it a 2-2 count.
Yeah, good fight back here by Glenelg. As I said, you know, they let the 3 go up in the first innings, but they've got people in there that can bat and they can run, and they've just got to make the most of their chances when they get them out there.
Another change up. And good discipline to stay off it. McGee leans for this one as Peterson was off for the races, heading towards second.
She's hanging around up here. She's getting bat on ball and staying alive.
Well, Bree McGee's been a long-time experienced veteran of the Rebels, and was one of the used to be their lead-off. So she's always had a good eye for the zone here. Going to get tested by Adams. Again, turns. White still believes that she can make that play as well. Mensforth there.
Yeah, good hustle for that ball, but wind, as you say, blowing from right field over towards the left field. That ball's always going to take off on him a bit. Very tough to chase that one down.
So McGee, full count. Peterson's going. change up. Ball looks like it's going to fall in the hole, but you, of course, forgot that Belinda White plays shortstop, which basically means she's playing left field and third base and shallow pitcher, and she's pretty much playing the left field of the dime. Another great play by the Olympian Belle White. So we just see here on the C-Max replay, you just see her coming off the dirt, over the grass, and Men's Force knows that she's not going to get any part of that stat.
She was an Olympian diver, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, softball. Sorry.
Probably could be an Olympian diver.
Pretty much reckon she could do.
Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, so coming up on the holidays, an exciting new program from some of our American imports that have come over to Australia, playing in the South Australian competitions in baseball and softball. They're holding an Adelaide Goes Global softball and baseball camp. And that's, of course, led by last year's Kathleen Coral medalist, Jess Golden. So December 18th, 20 and the 21st, opportunities there for young softballers between the ages of 10 to 16. Obviously, you can see there's a QR code there. But if you chase up Adelaide Goes Global in your search engines on the web and read up some details of the Port Adelaide Softball Club page, I think it's been shared there as well. And obviously, players like Elizabeth Engler and others going to do some great job, some great work with some of the youth. So something to look forward to on the school holidays. So get around it and yeah, learn from some of the overseas best players that we've seen in the country for some time.
Speaking of overseas, if you're watching from overseas, what a lovely day we have, as Anthony said before. 20 degrees at West Beach, feels like 16 or so. Wind blowing for about 20 an hour from the southwest. Just for those that may be watching from Maple Ridge, BC, Canada. I mean, it could be anywhere.
Yeah,
it could really be anywhere.
And what temperature would it be in Maple Ridge at the moment?
The last update we got on Wednesday night was about 2 degrees.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So it's probably not far off that.
That's normally a summer's day here at West Beach.
Ollie Durham is the lead off here for the Falcons, playing second base today, but already starting to show her immense talent when she's been pitching so far this season for somebody so young. This time she's gone down looking on the outside edge. Joe Grau, regardless of whether you're talented or not, she is going to get after you, and she's done that to the Falcons leadoff.
Yep, that's the fourth out in the game for Sturt, and all four have been strikeouts. So she's found her rhythm, she's found her spot, and as you said, Bill, once she does get going, she can be very difficult. So the 3 runs early on by Sturt are an absolute bonus for them.
Agreed.
And then, of course, you've got Jade Peterson over at first, who's not unusual to pitch 100 strikeouts a year as well. So,
well, she came in on Wednesday night and closed it against West Torrens, and that was probably the difference in the game. They were trading blows, scoring runs, but when Jade came in and shut them down, Glenelg and their bats finished that inning off with enough, the 2 runs to win.
Left fielder Ashlyn Mensforth is at the plate currently, and she's 1-1 in the count.
We just saw that awesome throw from Ash just before from left field. That, as I said, the cut was made. If it hadn't have cut, it probably would have ended out at home. So
that was a great throw.
Yes, another one of the talented young Falcons on the rise here. Watches that ball break at the plate.
Ashlyn's been a member of the state teams for the last few years.
She has,
under 16s and now under 18s, I think.
And swings over. Another pitch there from Grauer as it's 2 out for the Falcons. Brings to the plate right fielder Abbott Kennedy.
Yeah, Grauer's really starting to roll here now, isn't she?
She's hitting her spots.
Yeah, that's the danger. And Shepherd too's, we've cleaned up there as well. So Rebels starting to look dangerous, but the Falcons, the players they have in their lineup. So great contest today.
Key for Glenelg right now is if they can get this 3rd out, the number 9 hitter, and stop, get the 3rd out before getting back to the top of the order, they'll have done their job.
Yeah.
Abby gets on and top of the order comes up again. It'll all start over. So and get going.
I don't think the Falcons obviously prefer to do it at none or 1 out, but they'll score on 2 out if they have to. Yes, you can just see Grau now. Just the pace. It's just gets on you pretty fast at that short range.
I think we might have to start calling it Grauer power.
Lee would be happy with that. Kennedy fouls that one off hard into the fence. Count.
Good job to get a piece of that.
Yeah.
She's got a really good swing on her, Abby.
She does, yes.
If she does connect, she generally puts it in a good spot in play. She's had a little bit of a up and down start to the year, but for a number 9, you can see why they put her down there. Especially with the top of the order to come in, she can definitely push things around.
You can just see, like you say, it's a great swing, it's a great setup. Just her pre-pitch, process.
I like the way she's developed. I've watched her since under 16s, and she was a bit of a slap hitter, put the ball in play, use her wheels. But over the last couple of years, she's developed pretty good power when she does hit the ball.
She's done a great job there of picking a walk, and that hopeful avoidance of now what you would expect a 2-out mission by Kennedy to probably be sent. You would imagine, see if she can get to second before Tonkin gets into her count, and see if Tonkin can have a go at her with a runner in scoring position instead of hitting into a ground field ball here. So expect Kennedy to go.
Tell you what, sitting on the slight angle on that last pitch too. I know Abby definitely got well and truly out of the way of the last pitch, but I love it behind the shot there because Dave Borovnik, I think, stopped looking at the ball when it was about 1 metre off the plate, and his head was down and out. He was expecting it coming in, so good work by the entire 3 there behind the plate, and an excellent work by Courtney Shepherd to save an umpire's head.
1-1. Kennedy still at first. Shepherd, excellent effort, running towards the fence. Peterson backs off and lets her extend to it.
Both running well for that. Jade looked like she just kind of held up just beforehand, and Courtney getting close to that fence is a little bit tentative, but she laid it out for it.
She's only about a glove off it as well.
Yeah,
she made some good ground there.
Not far off.
Tonkin here, 2 out, bottom of the second. And goes deep to left field. It's going to fall foul, and McGee lets it bounce twice into the fence. It just shows it's the confidence that Coach Adams has got, that she hasn't sent Kennedy in a 2-out situation to, we've already had one base runner beat Shepherd to second. If you lose that, Tonkin picks up the bottom of the third as the leadoff, but she's actually backed her in here to advance the runner at 2 out. She's going to get that opportunity, but Kinnear has come over, but not before Tonkin's made it through. And Kennedy with great heads-up base running. As soon as the ball spills, she was long gone. Now, Falcons have runners at 1 and 3 with 2 out. There'll be a speed-up runner for Tonkin.
A ground ball to short here. It's in the hole. She's got to go back and play it. That's going to be an infield single. I mean, Tonkin's there.
Yeah, she's already through.
Past the base.
Yeah, it'll be an infield single, and then the...
Good cover by Penglaze to make sure that...
yeah, good backing up.
It didn't go any further.
She, the news for Abby was she was getting third anyway because she got an obstruction called on her, so...
Right. So, speaking of Abby, we've got Abby Kennedy at third, but we've got Abby Weir at the plate.
I think they'd have to cut her loose here. Oh, actually, they've got a runner in for, for Sarah Tonkin there. So,
you got, Lucy Weir slid out to be the runner.
Yeah. So Abby Weir went down looking in her first at-bat. Now she's got runners at 1 and 3. Rebels short and second, both playing behind the line. Ball low. 1-1. The danger here for the Rebels is that they've got to get this hitter here into some form of ground out or beat the bat, because you do not want to send Belinda White to the plate with runners on base. Swing over by Weir there. See what her 2-strike adjustment looks like now after going down looking in the first.
Abby's impressed me this year as a starter, at third base, and she's had really good at-bats and played fairly well.
Swings over, and Grauer, as she can do it,
of death.
Gets okay. Yeah, there you go, Abby. Bill's gonna wear that one. That's the kiss of death there. So, and has retired. Grauer retires the Falcons with runners at first and third. We're moving in here now to the top of the third. It's the Falcons 3, Rebels 2. Rebels about to come back through the top of their line. So plenty to happen still in this game of the day action as we see second play third in what is going to be an exciting CMAX Premier League. Speaking of CMAX, you want to help advance tomorrow's health and get paid for your time, log on to cmax.com.au. So expecting that we'll probably lose Pete before Bill before the end of the game. That means, Pete, the duty of the CMAX Clinical Performance Player of the Day is going to fall to you. So looking forward to your insight there later on.
It's quite an honour, to be honest.
It is, it is. And so far it's going to be difficult because there's been some good plays.
It's an honour to select it, but it's more of an honour to receive it, I think.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So,
look, the first time around, these top three of the lineup for Glenelg went 1, 2, 3 straight down. They'll be looking to come back and do a bit of what the middle to bottom order did in that second dig for them. So they'll be looking to get up on base and try to advance the score up a little bit more.
Most definitely. There's some good hitters coming through here. They're going to bounce back, you would hope.
Cochrane, the Rebels lead-off and third base player. Shout out to those that have tuned in and are checking out the CMAX Premier League today, playing for the Linda Martin Shield. Might get interactive in just a minute. See where some people are watching the game for on this beautiful Saturday afternoon here at West Beach on Garnerland. See if anybody from Maple Leafs dialing in to see what's happening.
Maple Ridge.
I think the Maple Leaf, isn't that?
I just wanted to see if he was playing, if he was listening. He was. That's all right. So
Maple Leaf, I think they make some sort of syrup. Pretty sure.
So
that's all right.
No, got the message across. That's the important part. Cochrane, ever watchful, walking the first at bat to get the Rebels started.
Yeah, the first at bat she was down. It was 2 and 2, so she had to actually really dig out well there to get a walk. And she's this time going to be doing it within 5 pitches. So.
Well, we talk about that discipline that's been impressive from the Rebels this year, and there's just more evidence of it. So Horton, switch hitting, but this time she's going to stay left side as she plays the situation, probably more so than just switching sides for the sake of it. So obviously staying nice and close, and the Falcons are going to use this opportunity to have a quick chat about what they're going to do.
Captain's call this one. Belle White was the one walking in with her hands up, so she's obviously got something important. Obviously, the first time at bat, Sydney did that little wacky thing. I don't know really what it was. It was attempted a hit, but it sort of just flopped and bounced just in front of Belle. She stayed low enough to get the out over at second, but
traditional bunt situation, and you would think they're going to do that, but she does have wheels. Sydney Horton very quickly down the line on Wednesday night, and they're just going to make sure that they're covering.
Cochrane comes a long way off, more down shallow for anything short. Durham was in the right, going to the right spot, as you'd expect. So Coach Adams now has had a look. Coach Brinkworth has now had a look at the defence. Let's see what happens now on the call. Stays with it. Adams, as you would expect, showing short. She takes the ball up, making it harder for Horton to keep it on the ground.
If she's bunting, she's doing it last minute, which I'm not a fan of, but if you're going to sacrifice, you got to get this down. And that one there fouled off a little bit late getting around. And
well, there's a big job to do here because you got Courtney Shepherd to follow, who's a superstar for the Rebels, and then you've got the power of Grauer, as the great man Lee Hull would say. So to come. So job to do here for Horton. Looking to get the tying run to second. Doing a good job here now as she takes the count deep.
Yeah, we know she can hit. She can hit a ball, long ball too. So it's sort of a tricky thing to just advance the run or to just put it out there.
Change up high. Horton runs with it. Moore comes over and takes the catch at first and keeps Cochrane stranded. So now Shepherd comes to the plate. The leadoff still at first, and Grau is now on deck. Shout out to some of those awesome people that are watching from around the world here on a beautiful Saturday. A little bit of Nebraska. Hi to Chris out there. The legend that is Mare Croft, watching over in her beloved New Zealand. So shout out to Sugar. It's Shepherd here. Takes another pitch inside in front of the count here. So opportunities for Shepherd to find somewhere to punch this ball. Cochrane still at first. We're in the top of the third. It's the Falcons 3, the Rebels 2. It's none out. 1 out, sorry. Shepherd grounds out over to that side. Weir overruns it, but White there, as you would expect, takes the deflection off of Weir and comes up and throws her out.
Take the assist there, Abby Weir. That class is a 5 to 6 to 3. So, you know, if it didn't flick the glove and it got past Abby, I don't think Bell was going to get it in time. So, good teamwork by them there.
Great reaction by White, though. How good is she? And look at the throw. Baseball pitcher arm. Grauer now gets an opportunity with a runner in scoring position to tie this game up.
Because it did flick up like that, she could hold her ground and actually was going to guns as soon as she caught it. Whereas if she had to field it, she'd be still moving, plant, step, and throw, and that would have been a much tougher play.
Grauer not waiting around. Good mix of pace there by Tonkin and Adams as Grauer drives over the top of that one and fouls it.
Yeah, you're right. It flicked up nicely to that shoulder height, which has just allowed her to prep and be in a really good position for that power that she's got. Still a runner on 2 here, so scoring runner out there if they can get him round.
Adams keeping the ball away from the power zone of Grauer. Cochrane at 2. Cameron, you would expect where she should be. And out at left field, Mensforth quite deep as well. Respect shown to the power hitter. Adams takes her to the other side. 3 balls, 1 strike. Asking the question now, the great man Lee would say, he'd probably say, you know what, put her on. But if you saw Penglace hitting on Wednesday night, that would be dangerous. Grauer goes in the 6-5 hole. Cochrane's going to turn. This time Mensforth comes up. The cut's left this time, but unfortunately the throw goes up the line. Well backed up by Adams, the pitcher, and the Rebels have tied it up, and Grauer has made it all the way to third.
Yeah, good hit there. Just skipped a bit on the ground. We got past Bell, got out. This time the throw just a little bit wider coming in from Ash Mensforth out at left field. Sarah Tonkin had to run up the line to get it. Probably did get in the way of the runner as well, so might have given up the base anyway, but got past her, and speed by Yo Grauer as soon as she saw the throw going home, not being cut, and an empty bag at 2. She was off.
Fielded cleanly, and you're right, if that throw is as good as the one in the first inning, they got her at the plate.
Penglay's first pitch grounds out to shortstop to Bell White. Horton crosses the plate but does not score. It's 3-3. The Rebels have tied it up. What a great comeback, as we expected, as the Falcons will go into the bottom of the third just here on the C-Max replay.
Yeah, hit nice, stayed down low, Bell, straightforward sort of play for her. Got the throw over perfectly to Riley Moore at first, but they did get that aggressive base running there. I was kind of wondering whether they were going to be sending Gemma Cochrane home, but as soon as I was looking, there's hands are sort of going in different options there from the coach, but she went home and put the pressure on that throw.
C-Max want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time. Log on to cmax.com.au. I think about tomorrow's healthcare. It sounds like Karen Dale, the softball South Australian legend and state under-18 coach, might need some healthcare as she's run a half marathon today. So why would you do that? But Karen Dale can do amazing things, and she's just added to her resume.
I would just think, why do things by halves? But
well,
maybe that's just me.
Well, that's still an impressive effort. And one of my favourites, Katie Prest. What a shame that she's not here. Just looking at this Rebels lineup, imagine Katie Prest in there as well. Far out. Rebels would be lights out. Hope you're well, Katie. Here we go. Into the bottom of the third. It's Yo Grauer starting to get her groove on here as we nearly hit the halfway mark. The Falcons jumped out to an early lead in the first inning, scoring 3. And since then, Grauer has pulled them back. Last innings, They did have some opportunities, the Falcons. They weren't able to capitalise coming through the bottom of their line to the top. But they're going to lead it off here in the bottom of the third with the superstar, Belle White. Maddie Cameron on deck.
Six outs for them so far this game, obviously Sturt, and they've all been strikeouts. And then you back off that, Yo Grau just punching that nice ball out the left field and scoring a run, getting around to third herself. She is going to be bouncing off confidence.
Grau's a great hitter. She can hit all fields, as you've seen. She can pull the ball hard, go off field hard, or just put it in play like that. And she's a really good runner of the bases. Like she's not the fastest runner, but she runs very smart. And I don't see her make a mistake run the bases very often, if ever. I put the pressure on her there now, but.
You're not going to do 2 kisses of death in 2 innings, are you, Bill? That's
well,
a bit rough.
I did skip over the last kiss of death when you said Sasha Penglaze has been hitting it really well, and she just hits one straight at Belle White.
First pitch, yeah, first pitch. But no, Penglaze, she's been good since coming over from the hills. So had a good fully loaded tournament last year. So
she's got talent. She's worked through a couple of injuries last season as well, which hindered a little bit of her play, and she's obviously found her spot here nicely at Glenelg.
White inside out. This is a tough ball here, and Horton at second base did a great job. Did not take her eyes off of it at one bit. And speaking of Sasha Penglaze, she was right there to back up, but no need. Horton takes a great catch here on the C-Max replay.
Yeah, as you see the pitch, it just sort of got in on her a little bit late. It sort of dropped in on her. She got under it pretty well, but a great piece of fielding there by Sydney Horton. She followed it back. Sasha was in there just in case.
The power hitter, Maddie Cameron, to the plate.
This time of the day, too, that pop-up is very tough with the sun. And what she did really well there, and it's advantage, but she had herself turned away from the sun instead of looking straight into it. So she played it perfectly.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of smarts in Sydney Horton. I'm pretty certain about that.
Cameron over the top of this one. Cochrane stays low, doesn't go get it. And that's enough for Cameron to get up the first base line and be safe. Good backup by Penglaze there as the ball just goes a little bit wide.
Yeah, I think this is going to be called a safe hit. I reckon she's beaten the throw anyway, so yeah.
Yep. So the Falcons, as they did last innings, starting to put runners back on. Cameron's at first. Moore went down looking in her first at bat. Takes one across the letters there for an early ball. Gone has Cameron. Inside is Horton, but not before Cameron has got there. Horton has to turn back into the line, and that's been enough for Cameron to sneak in behind it.
The throw got there in time. It just unfortunately was on the wrong side, which meant the glove work had to bring it back over, and that was probably the difference. She wasn't too far off there.
So Moore with a runner in scoring position now. One out. She's taken another pitch there across the knees as Grau freezes her. Cameron, who can run and run hard, is the go-ahead run here. Moore takes another pitch.
He went down looking the first time at bat, and so did the next batter, Zali Adams. So Yo would be happy to finish off in the same method this time.
Yeah, Shepherd set up on the outside there, and Grau hit the spot. That was a beauty pitch. Let's see if they go a little farther out or they're coming back in.
Moore this time gets a piece of it. It's in left centre. Bree McGee throws their glove out. Cameron will turn and score as sent by Coach Adams. And 4-3. She went down looking in the first. She went down looking for the first couple of pitches in this at-bat. But young Riley Moore has stayed on task and put this ball to the centre field, left centre field fence here on the C-Max replay.
Big hit, lovely hit. Just kept travelling nicely. It carried a lot bit further than I thought. Off the bat, it sounded like it went a bit more upwards, but the fielder was around a bit further to the left there, which meant too much ground to make up.
Adams shows bunt. Cochrane comes in as Moore retreats back to second on that RBI scoring double from the number 5 hitter playing first base.
Really good to see there too on that play there with the bunt looking like being played. Sophie Kinnear learnt from the first time round. She was over at third, ready for in case Riley came across.
Again, Bunt showing. So Grauer goes up in the zone. Adams goes with it, fouls it off into the fence behind us. Hey, Joanne from Geelong. Believe Joanne's one of our long-time watchers, so always good to have her checking out the softball on Saturday. And Zali Adams, for 2 at-bats in a row, has gone down looking, frozen by the fastball that breaks on that outside by Grauer. Far out, she's a good pitcher.
Yeah, tough part of the lineup for Sturt here against Yo Grauer. As I said before, with all the strikeouts she's had. The first time at bat, Riley Moore, Zali Adams, Ollie Durham and Ash Menswell, the 5, 6, 7, 8, all went down, struck out.
Yeah. Durham here, she's had a look now at the superstar that is Grauer. Moore, 2 out. So she'll get a little bit more aggressive with their leadoffs, and you can see the outfield has come right in for the Rebels. But ball loose from Shepherd as Moore holds her ground. Cochrane and Kinnear head over to third to block any advancement.
That's not a bad thing there, actually. Riley Moore not already in scoring position with 2 out. You take off and you get thrown out, you run yourself out of the game.
Yeah.
Now you give your batter a chance still to drive you in. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Durham taking some pitches here as Grauer starting to really push that zone. Want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time? Log on to cmax.com.au. So, bottom third, Falcons. Grauer just misses the edge on the outside. I think that's how she got her last time. Pretty sure it's Falcons 4, Rebels 3.
Yeah, that was a nice pitch. Lay off that one. Good at bat, good discipline.
Durham gets a piece of the ball. Peterson does her own fielding off that hard line drive. So bat on ball for Durham. So good positive step forward there against Grauer as we head now into the top of the 4th. So you've got an invitation bill to go on a half marathon with Karen when you like there. So look forward to seeing the preparation for that. Home Run Heroes is a great sporting program that's been run by a participation officer, Catherine Western, here in Softball SA. And for the 3rd week running, we've seen it out here on Diamond 3 and Diamond 9 and early in the morning. A couple of kids out there again today. And so the cool thing about Home Run Heroes, it's a great entry into the sport. So you can obviously sign up for Home Run Heroes through the webpage, go through your club pages. It's a great opportunity, meet some of the stars of the Premier League who go out to these clinics to actually help you learn about it. Saturday mornings here, but obviously in your own associations and clubs as well. Home Run Heroes, be a part of it, be one of the next heroes in the sport. So we're going in here now to top 4 in this game of the day between the Falcons and the Rebels. The Falcons look like they've had the Rebels measure, but every time you think that the Falcons are going to run away with it, the Rebels have just pulled them back, and it's a 4-3 ball game here. Zali Adams started the game today in the circle. She's still out there as we move into the top of the 4th. It's the centre fielder, the returning Rebel, Georgia Bevan.
Bevan doesn't look overly happy with that first strike call, but he's going to see if she can adapt and get something done.
Good. Really, Adam, one thing is seeing Adams live like this, I've just noticed she's got that really, just that little off-speed change of pace from 100% where she just dials it back to like about a 90% of the same pitch. And a couple of Rebels hitters have not been able to follow through on swings. Just getting caught in some two minds as Bevan lifts this one out to right field, but Abby Kennedy, what great wheels as she's come in there calling Ollie Durham out. and takes a great catch out at right field, does the young superstar from the Falcons.
Yeah, that fly that went up there, Ollie Durham was really struggling, as you said, looking into that sun. She was in no hope land. She had no idea where it was and got the late call out. Got herself out of there, and Kennedy made some good ground, as you said.
That reassuring feeling when you know you can't get that ball and you can hear your outfielder call you off and you go, thank you. That was a great play by Abby. Very confident on that one.
Brings to the plate the shortstop, Sophie Kinnear, just having a look at some of these other people that have joined us. We've got Ebony watching from WA, which is pretty cool. So we've got some people in the US that are watching. We've got some people around Australia. See that Montana Kearns, the superstar from New South Wales softball, is tuned in. So people from all around Australia watching the CMAX Premier League here for the Linda Martin Shield. And we've got a great game at the moment. It's the Falcons 4, the Rebels 3. We're in the top of the 4th. There's that little change of pace again. This one's fallen in as it's gone over the top of Weir at left. And Kinnear has used the opportunity to slide all the way into second. Great base running by the shortstop from the Rebels. And Glenelg just continue to keep coming.
Yeah, that was a good. She checked on her swing a little bit and it just held up. It bounced only about a foot inside the line, but with Bell White after it, you don't really want to be taken on her arm. But Sophie Kinnear, fantastic running to get herself around. She'd never ever looked like stopping once she went through first.
Yeah, I think that's the secret there. You got to be 100% committed to go in, and she was. She could see where the ball was as she rounded.
And sliding.
Actually, sorry.
Yep, no, you're right.
I was going to say it was Mensford that came in and played that. Bell going backwards is probably better for the left fielder to come up throwing. And, yeah, sliding in safely.
Peterson, the first base and pitcher of the Rebels, comes to the plate. Situation now where she's got the tying run at second in Kinnear. It's 1 out. We're in the top of the 4th. Adams started, still in the game, doing a great job. Haven't seen any activity in the bullpen from the Falcons.
I reckon their bullpen's sitting at second base.
No Fidge today?
No Fidge over there today. No,
yeah, right.
We've got their bench is Liz Morris and Lucy Weir.
Yeah, right. Notice that Bron Sawyer's on the line there for the Rebels, so they've obviously got their options in Jade and Bron as well. So Peterson leans back and goes over the top of Mensforth at left field. 2 bounces into the left field fence. Kinnear's going to go on to score. And from the number 7 spot, if you don't mind, Jade Peterson.
Number 8 spot.
Number 8 spot.
I'm standing right now and applauding. That is a great hit by Jade in a key situation. Gets most of that. The wind kind of carries. And at that point, Mensford knows that ball's over.
Yeah, that's how much that ball moves as well with
Yes.
the wind. She was running in a straight line with it. By the time it bounced, it was well to her left.
Coach Adams taking the opportunity to go out as we hit the 4 o'clock mark. So we're an hour into this game. And that's a great at-bat by Jay Peterson, as the gentlemen have just said. And that has tied the game up. More importantly, brings the number 9 hitter to the plate at 1 out with a runner in scoring position. And then the Rebels go back to the top of their line, and there's some names there that I would be concerned about with runners on the base path with the likes of Horton and
Cochrane's got herself on twice
through walks, and then you've got Grauer not too far away. So pivotal moment here.
Yeah,
Pass lead off of the Rebels. McGee at the plate. Sorry, Peter.
I was just going to say, you got Gemma Cochrane's got on twice through walks. You've got Sydney Horton, who we know what her ability is, and she's not shown it quite yet in this game. And Yo Grauer 2 for 2 at the box at this stage.
So, all tied up here.
If there's one thing that can be said about Glenelg in the last 2 games I've watched and happened to be lucky enough to be part of the stream is they answer back. You know, that's got to be a motto somewhere on their training shirt.
It's a crazy thing. It's a good thing to have develop. And we've just had a timeout as is it a dog that's jumped in? No, it's a baseball.
And fouled into left field.
And the Giants are back at West Beach as they start their premiership defence. So taking the Bandits down 12-1 last night in the opener, or maybe 8-1, I'm not sure. Adams watchful here as she falls behind in the count to the number 9 batter McGee, who, as we've said previously, a lead-off for the Rebels for some time. So going to be a tough out here for the Falcons. McGee puts the ball in play over to Moore, who runs forward, makes the tag. But McGee's advanced Peterson from second to third as the Rebels now return to the top of their lineup. And it's Gemma Cochran, the third base. An opportunity here to hit Peterson in and the go-ahead run.
Yeah, it's a productive at bat there. Any way you look at it, hit the right side. If it gets through, she scores. At least she's moved over to 3. And you're right, you bring the top of the order back up and you keep it alive.
Big crowd down here today for softball. As I said, the baseball's behind us as well. Lots of people on the stream. Big game, and Cochran's taken a big cut. I think it's the first time I've seen her actually clear her hands today. She's been super watchful, doing a great job for Coach Brinkworth with a couple of lead-off walks. She's currently batting now with 2 out in the top of the 4th with a runner at third, the go-ahead run. Zali Adams' change-up is sensationally impressive.
That was a little bit more change of speed. That one. That's
a change-up, 100%. Yeah, yeah, I like that change of pace. Tonkin moving around behind the plate as she does, setting up so well.
I'm not sure that last one had even left Zali's hand, and she was already swinging. That's how slow that came down to her.
Falcons defense shallower, and Adams picks her up on the outside as Peterson stranded at third. So they've tied the ball game up though, courtesy of a great two-bag RBI to left centre field. As we've tied that game, they've tied the game up 4-4. Falcons obviously get a right of reply here in the bottom of the 4th. CMAX, want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time? Log on to cmax.com.au. So we're in the home stretch here, gentlemen. We've got 20 to go. This is going to get it's going to get tight. So they've both the Rebels are just starting the top of their order again. Falcons top of the order imminent.
Yeah, Yo's obviously coming around nicely now for Glenelg, and it's one of these games. And have a look at Glenelg's games this year. There's not many innings they don't score a run in. They're at least getting runners on and getting a run in innings wherever they can, and if they can, getting more. But you know, Sturt's the sort of team as well. They had a big innings of 3 in the first, and they were nothing in the second. Picked up 1 in the last. They're about to turn around to that really good part. They've got Abby Kennedy, who we said bats well at 9. And then you roll through to Sarah Tonkin, Abby Weir, Belle White, Maddie Cameron, who all can conquer. And I think Maddie Cameron's having a cracker of a match.
Sounds like a CMAX Clinical Performance Player of the Day candidate announced early with 20 to go. I like that. And here we go now. So, bottom 4th here now. Grauer started, and she's still in the middle. Gave up 3 in the first. And then since then, it's only given up 1 in the last 3, picking up some key strikeouts on the way. It's the left fielder Ashlyn Mensforth at the plate. Abby Kennedy, the right fielder, on deck. Chases high as Grauer strikes out the leadoff.
8th strikeout for the match, second one for Ash Mensforth.
Speaking of CMAX Clinical Performance Player of the Day candidates, Yo Grauer.
Yeah, goes all right, Yo too. She, although was it the other night, Erin, our wonderful Erin, who's jumped into the commentary booth this year, mentioning Jade, one of the best pitchers down here. We had to get a bit behind her and remind there was someone missing from Glenelg.
Yeah. I think when I walked past the TV, I heard the best pitcher in the league, which, you know, there's very much an argument for.
I, in fairness, heard one of the best.
Yeah. And Erin, don't worry, quickly replied to the feedback with was one of the best. So
doing very well, our 2 recruits this year.
Yes.
Wonderful Bill sitting next to us, and Erin.
No, that's exactly what we need. Pressure on the mic. That's what we need, is a talented, charismatic,
and I hope
young state player, and then we need the We need the accent national championship drought-breaking winning coach. That's exactly what we need to kick us out.
Well,
so.
I'm always happy to bring my Woodville South accent to the broadcast.
I've been on Seek recently trying to see what I'm going to do next season. I think I might be out of a gig.
I think we both will be, so that's okay. Plenty sure that there's going to be plenty of people happy with that. Kennedy goes down swinging as Grau gets strikeout number 9. The Falcons have returned to the top of the lineup. It's Sarah Tonkin, so we're going to go through their last final at-bats now. So game on the line here. Rebels are clear second, but they have 3 games. They've played 3 games more than the Falcons, so you'd expect that the Falcons are going to be putting pressure on that spot.
Second time from 3 turns at the box that Sarah's been coming to the box with already 2 out, which is very difficult for a top end with no one on, but she's smart enough. She knows what to do. She got on last time, so.
Aggressive start. I like the way she's first pitch swinging there. Thinking, with all her strikeouts, she's obviously pitching from in front a bit, making you chase. So let's go after this first one, and it was a good pitch to swing at.
Underneath this one, high ball, looking into the sun is Cochrane, and just a little bit of razzle-dazzle from the third base as she's started with the glove above her shoulders and it's ended up around her knees, but she still made the catch, more importantly, to get the dangerous lead-off of the Falcons. And
there's nothing like confidence, and she was confident that whole time.
Speaking of confidence, burying the lead, I think, is the feedback that I've just received. Of course, we've got one of the biggest news stories to break, and I haven't even mentioned it yet, and we're an hour into it, and that is, of course, Yo Grauer, recently engaged last week. So congratulations to her, as Yo's fiance's father, who's up in Renmark, has just gently reminded me that, don't bury the lead. And so congratulations to Yo. She's obviously been here for some time now, and what an actual pleasure it's been to watch her, when she started in that first season, and just watch her get better every year. Obviously, time over in UCLA, led the Magpies to their first ever premiership as a pitcher. Kathleen Coral medalist, national champion. So it's a fairly impressive resume, but I think she would probably say that getting engaged is probably the highlight.
Well, congratulations to her, and Anthony, you've just done yourself a really good job at potentially getting yourself an invite to the wedding, I reckon, as well, with that summary. So,
well, Yo knows I'm a big fan. She's obviously got a shelf in Bar 66, which of course is the Yo Grauer range. So,
congratulations to her. It's a wonderful achievement, and she's obviously taken the happiness out of it, because she's come out on fire today. So Horton has switched sides this time, and she's over in the right-hand batting box as she looks to get on. It's a 4-4 ball game here in the top of the 5th.
Wind's picking up a little bit.
It is, and Sarah Tonkin just leaving that frame there just a little longer for Blue Borovnik to have a bit of a look, and Fairley and Macaulay on the base path. Adams really jumping off that plate now, really striding and getting some great break on the ball. On the telly, the wind's going from your right to left, so she's throwing that outside pitch into it and throwing it at good pace there as Horton fouls that one off behind the plate.
Yeah, we haven't seen Horton get on yet today. She's put the one fielder's choice to short, so she got on, but it was a fielder's choice to shortstop. Then got caught stealing. Last time she hit the ball up, flew it up, and it was a foul fly to first. So she can get on. We know she can hit a ball, so let's see where she goes.
She's hit this ball out to centre field, but Maddie Cameron, one of the best, has come in and taken and made it look like a simple catch. Nothing simple about that line drive that went out. Looking into the sun, ball dropping on her. Cameron reads it beautifully, as you see here on the C-Max replay. Glove in perfect position. A great job by the Falcon superstar. Courtney Shepherd comes to the plate. Obviously the hit in the 6-5 hole, I believe last time, was did some damage. Or was that the one that got clipped?
That was the 5 to 6 to 3.
Right.
The assist that went the way of Abby.
Here, she's rolling her wrists. So,
and look, if she can get on, Yo Grauer's 2 for 2 today. So if she can find herself on, Yo is a very strong chance of at least either getting her home or pushing her around, and that will be a huge pressured moment then for Sturt, because then potentially the run out there.
You've got Coach Brinkworth, Coach Bevan here, and the reality is this late in the game, so we're 75 minutes in, so you've probably got one more roll of the dice after this. You're not looking for 5 or 6 runs, you're just looking for the go-ahead run at the moment. And so, as you say, it's really important for Shepherd here in a one-out situation to get herself on and let 2 form contact hitters in Grauer and then following Penglaze to get you in front. See if the Rebels can get back-to-back walk-offs.
And this is a really important moment because, as you said, there's probably only one more maybe innings after this, but Sturt's going to have a couple of cracks at bat, and they're about to go back to their number 2 when they come back in. Strong part of their lineup. You need to really get that run up on them and put the pressure on them.
Shepherd continually rolling her wrists. If I was going to start a T20 cricket team, Courtney Shepherd, there'd be no point having anybody deep in the field on the left-hand side. She just puts that ball on the ground, does an amazing job of it.
I was saying maybe now with 2 strikes, but I was thinking in this situation, like you're saying, to get the Grauer, if she can hit right side up the middle there's a bit of a gap. And if she can just get herself on and bring Grauer up, that's what you're trying to do. So
Shepherd hits an absolute laser to shortstop, but of course, Bell White.
Yeah, it's a nice piece. Someone got in the way, and it's a lovely hit, perfectly hit, but unfortunately, straight to Bell. And
I don't know how people at home, when you see that on TV, and it looks like that's pretty simple, but when you're standing about 70 feet from the plate and somebody with an aluminum bat smashes a ball effectively half the size of your head at you at great pace, it's not a great feeling. The glove's a bit of an insurance policy and gives you a little bit of Dutch courage, but it's not the same. Yo Grauer, 2 out at the plate, base pass empty. If they're going to be an opportunity here, it's the recently engaged superstar who's going to have to kick the Rebels off in 2 out, as time starting to become a factor in this epic contest game of the day between 2nd and 3rd, Rebels and Falcons. Goes over to White again. The ball bounces. What a terrible hop. But as you would expect from Bell White, the superstar, the warrior, she's just dropped her body weight there enough so that if it misses her glove, it's going to hit her body at pace. She takes the hit, as courageous as she is, and then comes up like a baseball pitcher and throws Grauer out.
I think I'm going to start training all my middle infielders as catchers first, get them blocking the ball, because she gets behind everything, and as I'm going to say it, Aaron, second chances make outs.
And that's why people watch the CMAX Premier League, to watch superstars like that. Pete Williams.
Yes, so obviously this week took on the role of the chairman, which was a really exciting role. Great start to the week. I got myself out to NAMSA last night to have a look at what's going on, and some fantastic competition out there. Unfortunately for me, though, and those that aren't aware of my role, my main job is a police officer here in South Australia, and the horrendous wake-up call just after midnight on Friday morning to head down to the southeast for the terrible incident where we've lost one of our own, and another one ended up in hospital. I got to see the officer who managed to go without any injury later in the day, and I was able to actually see firsthand the leadership that the Commissioner showed on the day, that was second to none, giving as much time as he needed to every single member, sworn or non-sworn, and community member in the southeast. To tragically then have what happened to him not long after returning to Adelaide last night. All of our thoughts are with him and his family, and obviously the Deutsch family in Victoria as well. But it's a time when emergency services, we're there to help you guys as much as we can, but sometimes we just need to lean on each other at times. And right now there's not a moment where none of us are hurting. We are all really hurting, and our leader, who showed tremendous leadership, is probably hurting one of the most out there at the moment. So to Commissioner Stevens and his family, we can absolutely have all of our thoughts with you guys, and you know, when it's time and you come back, we'll all be wrapping our arms around you. And to the South Australian community, the softball community, I had plenty of people sending messages of support to me yesterday and contacting me, and you know, I didn't get back to you all because after a 16.5-hour day I was pretty knackered last night. But thank you to every single person that's reached out and contacted me. It's a tough day and a tough job to do, and I just really appreciate everyone for their support.
Well said, Pete. And yeah, absolutely terrible news. And the fact that you've, you know, experienced what you've experienced over the last 36 hours, and the fact that you've also come here and continue to do your role and help us out, and obviously be the board president moving forward. Yeah.
I'm out here. The reason I'm out here, Anthony, you did say to me earlier, what are you doing here? And the reason I'm here is I've spoken before, and I spoke last year on commentary. Softball's a community. It's a tight-knit community, and we all support each other, very similar to how the police work as well and emergency services work. We're a big family, and it's a place where people smile and people are happy, and that's why I'm back out here, because we need a little bit of that.
Belle White has gone to left field, and Bree McGee's done a good job of keeping that in front of her on one bounce, played it. Safe's not the right word. She kept it in front of her. She was super conscious to not let White get to second because of the importance of the next batter that's coming with Maddie Cameron, who's got the power to put this ball out of this venue at the drop of a hat. So the question will now become here, as you see there on the C-Max replay, whether or not White will go, which of course she does. And Shepherd just misses there as Horton gets in. But that was great fielding by McGee. Lots of experience there. White, the athlete, of course, asked the question. Remember, the Falcons, they're looking for one right at the moment. So Cameron swings over, and Yogrower, you just know she loves these battles. She loves when she's had just the Olympian. Now she's got a champion in Maddie Cameron in front of her as well. This is what we want to see. We want to see the best players playing, asking the questions of each other.
Maddie Cameron is a very aggressive swinger. We know that. I mean, she loves to swing first pitch fastball, and she was looking to drive that one. And Yo Grauer maybe just keeping it a little bit off the zone just to see if she can get her to chase. You know, Maddie Cameron thinking, I really want to hit this here, but she's got to show discipline at the plate.
Cameron swings over this one here. So, as I said, we're in the home stretch here, and this game's going down to the wire. The Rebels have been behind all day, but they've just kept on coming back. They've leveled it up now. And here we are now in the bottom of the fifth. Yo Grauer in the middle, throwing to one of the best power hitters in the state, in the country for that matter. Belle White at second. It's one out. Jammed on the hands. Shepherd jumps out, and she's just at full extension. That ball has just come out of her glove.
Yeah, she got up and got moving there, Courtney Shepherd. She was pushing hard to get to it. A great attempt. She knew the importance of it. If she had managed to get that for the second out, that would have been a phenomenal achievement. But
that was a big out. Yeah, good try.
Cameron gets a life. What's she going to do with the opportunity? Ball loose. White sees the ball low and speeds off and makes it to third. And now real pressure here on the Rebels battery, because now anything loose at the plate could end up costing some very valuable points here. So the ball in the ground, Shepherd just falls at her feet.
No hesitation with Belle.
And White's she's just too fast. So Cameron now already hit a run scoring triple today. At the moment, looking for just a single base hit's going to do the same amount of damage. Stays off of it. The ball's loose. Shepherd comes up, and White uses the opportunity as the Falcons go ahead 5-4. Cameron's made it to first.
Great at bat there by Maddie. It was a long number of pitches. I think I got maybe 7 in the end of that. But that's a fantastic thing, and we're inside the, well, coming up to the last 5 minutes.
Coming up into that window now, so you now watch the Falcons do exactly what you think they're going to do, which is they're going to time out, they're going to have a bit of a chat about it.
That could be it.
We're going to start taking some pictures.
Giving up the walk to Maddie is okay, but it's unfortunate that ball gets to the screen and Bell scores on that play. You know, because
you're right. If we'd given up the walk, but then managed to hold it to no run, then the game could have been over and it could have been a draw.
Yes, a little bit of gamemanship here by the Falcons. So
Riley Morris could be the last batter if she's patient.
Yep, and I think she will be. Grau knows that she's just now going to have to just challenge hitters and throw rockets.
I think she's just got to sit there and watch 3 pitches. She'll see out the 30-odd seconds.
And Grau, as you'd expect, goes straight for it. So, yeah, Yo's fiance's name is Jared. So shout out to him. Moore swings at the second one, but the damage might be done here. Good pitch by Yo Grauer as the ball breaks at the plate, as Coach Adamson, Gamemanship Manual 101, makes a late change. And if you're going to make a late change, this is the time to do it.
Well, it's a valid change, I would say, too, batting for Zali. You know, Zali has struggled with a couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, absolutely.
But works out to be perfect timing for...
Wouldn't matter if Zali had gone 2 for 2 with 2 long bomb home runs. It's still just time, and so that's the nature of the game. So some great feedback for you on there, Pete, for some of the great words that you just said before. So thank you to that. And
Lucy Ware, is that who's coming in? 21?
Yes. And Yo's mum's watching from California, so just everybody just behave for the last few minutes here. So, the younger Weir sister, Shepherd, ball spills, and Cameron's made it to second. Rebels now find themselves with the Falcons having a runner in scoring position, 2 out, and the clock against them.
Let me just say, as I'm about to duck out and this game may be close to ending, I've had a blast being here broadcasting with you boys again, and
good luck today in your massive game against the top of the ladder Port Adelaide Magpies. So good luck with that build. Tigers on the rise. So thank you for your contributions today, as always, and might start seeing you on some Wednesday twos. So
great, love to be here. All right, thanks guys. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Grau continues to work. Weir's picked a walk. 2 out. Durham comes to the plate. So Grau had the better of her in the first at-bat. Durham's next at-bat, she was able to get the ball on the right side of the diamond. Here she comes out aggressively swinging. CMAX want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time? Log on to cmax.com.au. Pete Williams, new board chairman, about to announce the CMAX Clinical Performance Player of the Day shortly. As this one comes to a close, it's the Falcons 5, the Rebels 4. It's been neck and neck all day, starting with big first innings to the Falcons, and the Rebels have clawed back. It's been an entertaining game with some great hitting, great pitching, some amazing fielding. So, had everything. As Durham goes down looking, and Blue Borovnik has thrown his hands in the air, and that's game time, set and match. As it's the Falcons that have run out winners in this battle of second v third over the Rebels. They run out winners 5-4. So, CMAX Clinical Performance Player of the Day, Pete, there were plenty of players there worthy of that. So the likes of Cameron, the likes of Belle White, the likes of Yo Grau, lots of different people that have all contributed. Who's your CMAX Clinical Performance Player of the Day?
Look, running through them quickly, if I gave a point to Belle White there, I think she was phenomenal in that shortstop. She made some really good plays and hard throw. She batted well as well. 2 points I'm going to give to Maddie Cameron for 2 hits and a walk, bringing home that run at the end there by the ball getting past the catcher. But she was on the losing team, but she's pitched 12 strikeouts and had 2 hits herself. The player is Yo Grau.
Fitting in the week where she has just announced her engagement to Jared. So shout out to him and to Mum, who's obviously watching back in California. So shout out to you as well. So thanks for everybody that's joined us on the live stream today. Thank you to producer Mitch and the Space Crate crew as always. A great contest. Our next contest is going to be the completion of round 6, which will be this Wednesday night at 8 p.m. and your TV game will be see the Falcons in action again as they go up against the Hills Heat Wednesday night at 8 p.m. with James Harris on the mic. So thank you to CMAX Clinical Research. Thank you to all of our sponsors, and thank you to Pete for coming in under duress and difficult circumstances. We appreciate that today. So it's the Falcons who have run out winners 5-4 over the Glenelg Rebels.